All right, good evening, everyone. We'll call the meeting in order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, our first item on the agenda is to recognize the retirement of Tom Friedman, Horsham Square Pharmacy. Bill?
Many of us know Tom. Tom is a fixture of our community and for almost 40 years. Almost 40 years. So we're just going to round it off to 40 years, Tom. But many of us who grew up here and have been in town for the last 40 years had some interaction with Horsham Square Pharmacy. You had to. I remember growing up and where now Farm and Fisherman used to be, but the building that Farm and Fisherman was Horsham Square Pharmacy. And those Saturdays when the hot dogs were given out was one of my favorite times to stop by Horsham Square Pharmacy and get a hot dog. But Tom, you were very active in our community. You know, I wish every business owner was just like you. You know, we were, I think I told you a month or so ago, we were cleaning out some stuff here at the Township building, and we ran across old photos, and there you are, you know, at the Navy base, Chamber of Commerce photos. So I think you were involved with almost anything the Township had to offer. The Horsham Chamber of Commerce, very active with when the Willow Grove Naval Air Station was an active base. You were very active with the Naval Air Station, the school district, the Rotary Club. You still are a Horsham Rotarian. Hope you still will be a Horsham Rotarian in retirement. But that was the fun stuff. But there was a lot of serious stuff in town too, and you took care of the residents. You took care of the sick children, the sick residents. I've heard countless stories of parents that needed medicine for their children when things were all closed up, and you said, meet me at the pharmacy. Midnight, meet me at the pharmacy. And midnight, you go to the pharmacy and you unlock and open up and you get them their medicine. So lots of stories like that. And you don't hear stories like that anymore. And you were still doing it. You were still doing it last year. We don't come across business owners like you often, and we were blessed to have you as a business owner for almost 40 years. You took care of our staff during the pandemic when we didn't know what we were living through, and we didn't know what shot we were supposed to be getting, and we didn't know if the shot was going to hurt us or if the shot was going to affect our health. This was new stuff. New vaccines and new, like no one trusted anything, and you came right up to us and you talked to us and you raised our comfort level, and then our staff went down to the pharmacy and you gave them some of the first shots in Horsham Township. So our staff here could still provide all the services, municipal services, to the residents. Flu shots. You come up here and you give the staff flu shots every year. Again, that's just not heard of anymore. That's just not heard of anymore. So we were fortunate to have you for 40 years, but we also understand it's your time now. And it's you and Judy's time to relax. And Judy, you were part of it all too. You gave me many shots. So, and you have your family and your staff sitting around you, and that just goes to talk about you, Tom and Judy, how committed your family and your friends and your staff are to you. And we will certainly miss you, but we also understand it's your next phase of life to relax. And we wish you all the best. If you want to say a few words, you have to come up to this mic because we're recording.
Which mic? Good to see you. William. Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
So before you talk, we have a proclamation here for you. We're missing a signature, so we'll get this to you when we finish that one, but if I can read this before you say your words. Be it proclaimed, whereas we are here today to express our appreciation to Tom Friedman and to honor him for his 37 years of operating Horsham Square Pharmacy and his dedicated service to the residents of Horsham. And whereas Horsham Square Pharmacy, known as locally owned and considered by many residents their dedicated community pharmacy who always provided outstanding customer service and affordable prices, Tom strongly believes that patients' needs are customized and healthcare services are prioritized when cared for by a local independent pharmacy. And whereas Horsham Square Pharmacy has contributed over $150,000 over the years to various community and school projects, sports teams, and events, as well as supporting our local shelters and food banks. Horsham Square Pharmacy has been awarded numerous honors and awards, including the Merck Community Service Award, the Happer Horsham Golden Apple Award, twice for service to the community, and has been recognized and honored by Drug Topics magazine as one of the top 100 pharmacies in the country. It came as no surprise when Tom was a guest speaker at the National Community Pharmacists Association meeting in Orlando, Florida. And whereas on behalf of the entire Township of Horsham, we want to express our sincere appreciation to Tom Friedman for his dedication to our community over the past 37 years. He always prided himself on being there for when we needed him most, and his lifelong service to Horsham Township, and for that we are grateful. We wish him much happiness as he begins this exciting new chapter in his life. Thank you.
If you'll allow me just to say a few words and share with you. Sean, you've shared most of which is on here. But if I might. This was the retirement letter that I have posted in the pharmacy. And I'd just like to share that with you if I could. Quote, "Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're at the beginning of something else," unquote, Fred Rogers. As I reflect on this wonderful and fulfilling 38-year journey operating Horsham Square Pharmacy, I am reminded that every ending is merely the start of a new chapter. It is time for something else. I am so very proud of our collective accomplishments and the significant contributions we have been able to make to our community. Horsham Square Pharmacy has, if I may repeat, contributed over $150,000 over the years to various communities and school projects, sports teams, and events, as well as supporting our local shelters and food banks. Has been awarded numerous honors and awards, including the Merck Community Service Award, the Hatboro Horsham Golden Apple Award twice for service to the community, and has been recognized and honored by Drug Topics magazine as one of the top 100 pharmacies in the country. My decision to retire was made with careful consideration, ensuring that our successor would uphold our cherished, patient-centered philosophy and commitment to community service. Many were interested, and after numerous interviews, dinners, and visits to interested parties' pharmacies, we met that person, Manan Patel. An accomplished pharmacist who embodies our special Horsham Square Pharmacy values and philosophy. I ask that you give him the same respect, consideration, and kindness that I have always felt from you and our community. Please come in and introduce yourself to Manan. He wants to know you as I have been fortunate enough to know you so many of you. I hope that he will experience the same privilege that I have been graced with over these many years. The honor of being part of your family, watching your children grow and flourish, and now caring for their children. I will still be here. I have promised Manan that both my wife, Judy, and I will remain in the pharmacy to help him in this transition, testing for and fitting hearing aids, taking care of vaccination clinics, counseling, and making introductions. To paraphrase General Douglas MacArthur, old pharmacists never die, they just fade away. To each of you on the council, to everyone in this room, our amazing staff who honor me with their presence, and whom I dearly love, to my wife and family for their love and support, and to our incredible community who have made these 38 years a blessing and a joy. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It has been an extraordinary, humbling honor and privilege to serve you and our communities many, many years. I am blessed by it and deeply grateful for the journey. Thank you.
Tom, if we can ask you to hang out for a bit, we'd like to get a picture with you after we swear in our new police lieutenant. Thanks. Next on the agenda is to swear in our new police lieutenant, Sergeant Jeffrey Woodruff. Bill?
So tonight, we have the privilege of swearing in our next police lieutenant in the Horsham Township Police Department, Jeff Woodruff. Jeff's been with us for 31 years. Just seems like yesterday. But Jeff, he has been a dedicated, committed, and loyal employee of the township and the community. And Jeff, he's been here 31 years, and he has shown that he knows the importance of our police training and the training that we do. He knows the importance of the accreditation program that we have and how important it is for our police department to be an accredited department of the state, our community policing, and the police department's relationship with the community. He knows that very well, has been a big part of that. He knows the reputation of the department. 31 years he's been there, so he knows we have the best police department in the Commonwealth and in the country. We have the best men and women, and he's been part of that for 31 years and understands that and knows it. So this is his next step in his journey with his career and with our community and our township this evening to be sworn in as the next lieutenant.
You know, when I looked at the agenda and saw we were following Tom Friedman, I knew we were in trouble. But, sir, if I may just echo Mr. Daywalker's sentiments, I can recall back, it's been several years now when then Chief Daly was in command of our department and we're going through COVID, and he and his command staff are worried about how we're going to keep our people safe, what's the right way to do that, how are we going to, you were an invaluable asset. So on behalf of the police department, I want to echo his sentiments and thank you for everything. Jeff, if you'd come up for a second. And then before we get started here, I'd just like to thank the men and women of council. You always allow us this interruption to your meeting to celebrate these accomplishments. If you haven't met Jeff, this is Jeff, our soon-to-be new lieutenant. And if you know Jeff, you know he absolutely loves the spotlight and attention. So I promised him I'd be brief. So Jeff came to us from Shippensburg University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in criminal justice. He was hired here in June of 1993 and was promoted to sergeant in 2005. He has spent his entire career in the patrol division, and he also spent the vast majority of it as a field training officer, counseling and mentoring new officers. And it's a testament to the quality of officers that serve today when you have good trainers like Jeff to lay the groundwork and the foundation. Jeff has, I'm going through his personnel file to make sure I can hit the highlights of everything that's happened in his, I don't know if you heard, 31-year career was mentioned several times. And it took me literally, I'm not even exaggerating, an hour to read through the portion of his personnel file where all the commendations and letters of thanks come in from either the citizenry or from police management. And I picked out of his numerous formal commendations, I noticed that he has interrupted 2 suicide attempts and saved 2 lives, and he's dealt with 2 mentally unsettled armed subjects in his career. So he's probably more than happy to come inside now and stop dealing with the craziness after, yes, 31 years on the street. After Jeff's sworn in today, he will become our patrol commander, and he will be solely responsible for our entire patrol division within the department. Tonight he's joined by his family, his wife Tracy, his daughter Ava, and a surprise guest all the way from Virginia, his son Mike. So we're really excited as a command staff, as a police department, as you can see by the representation here. We're really excited to have Jeff take this next step. So why don't we get this going? Are you going to hold the Bible? You want to do the honors? We should have to somehow get around this, otherwise Scott will. You have to raise your right hand. All right. Repeat after me. I, Jeffrey H. Woodruff,
I, Jeffrey H. Woodruff,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support,
that I will support,
obey,
obey,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
that I will enforce the laws of this Commonwealth
and Horsham Township,
and Horsham Township,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will discharge the duties
I will discharge the duties
of lieutenant
of lieutenant
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
I do further swear
I do further swear
that I will uphold,
that I will uphold,
obey,
obey,
and enforce
and enforce
the law
the law
without consideration
without consideration
of a person's race,
of a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap,
handicap,
or disability.
or disability.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. It is customary to have a member of the family or whomever the promotee would like pin his badge on his uniform. And
Tom
Tracy
Friedman.
insisted that she get to do this.
Tom Friedman, do you have any Band-Aids?
Well, as I stated, he has waited 31 years, so now I need glasses.
Thanks again.
Before you go too far, we'd like to get some pictures.
There we go, we got it. Ready, 1, 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3.
All right, our next item on the agenda is opportunity for questions and comments from the public. I want to remind everyone that we have one of our council members, Ms. Harmon, on the phone. And are there any public comments or questions? I see none. Next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
The balance in the general fund as of June 30th, 2024 is $7,434,314.57. For the most part, the activity in all funds reflects budget expectations for June, with revenues in the general fund at 79.4% of budget and expenditures at 44.79% of budget. Most major budget categories are at or around 50%. I continue to be confident that our revenues will match our budget expectations. For a more detailed presentation of our current financial position, I would refer you to your monthly booklet.
Thank you. Do we have a motion for the approval of the list of checks?
I move to approve the list of checks in all funds in the amount of $1,184,498.86, and further move to authorize payment of same. I move to ratify the U.S. Bank credit card transactions for the month of June 2024 in the amount of $9,029.89.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is to consider the following subdivision and land development plans. Mary, do we have all the necessary documentation for the two?
Yes, we do for both of those. Thank you.
All right, do we have a motion for the resolution for 1250 Easton Road?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, granting preliminary final approval to the Nicholas Braccia 1250 Easton Road Land Development Project 23-11-D.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Ms. Harmon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Laff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, do we have a motion for the resolution for 1307 Squires Drive?
I move to adopt the resolution as proposed, granting preliminary final approval to the Watts LLC 1307 Squire Drive subdivision plan 24-04-S.
It's been moved and seconded. This is a roll call vote.
Ms. Harmon, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Laff, how do you vote?
I just want to, can I say something before I vote? Yeah. So I had driven through this neighborhood to take a look at what everything looks like in comparison to all the waivers that they were requesting. There are 3 other cul-de-sacs on this street. All of those cul-de-sacs have the similar street width to the Squires Drive. And so it is my opinion that I would rather have the 30-foot width as required for the road on this subdevelopment. Actually, even in replacement of the sidewalk, because none of the other 3 cul-de-sacs have sidewalks in them. So just for consistency and aesthetic with the existing neighborhood and flow, that is my feeling on that one waiver item. So I guess in light of that, I would vote nay on the resolution for this one.
Mr. Whiteside, how do you vote?
I vote aye.
Ms. Chunky, how do you vote?
Aye.
And Mr. Wade, how do you vote?
Aye.
Motion passes 4 yeas, 1 nay.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is an update on capital projects. Bill?
So we have a number, actually 18 capital projects going on currently in Horsham Township, which is, I think, really unheard of, and not only for Horsham, but also other municipalities that are to take on 18 capital projects. So I just wanted to, we're halfway through the year, I just wanted to quickly update you where each of them stand. The Public Works facility, the painting of our Public Works building, that has been completed. Library siding and roofing project. The siding is complete. The roofing is finishing, the new roof is finishing up by the end of this week or early next week. Our solar energy project, the panels have been installed on the Township building and community center. They are currently working on the public works facility. And as soon as the roof is done at the library, they will be installing the panels on the library. In August, they will be installing the canopy in the restricted police staff parking area. And then hopefully the goal is by August 1st to have all of the facilities running on solar power. Blair Mill Road widening Phase 2 construction is still in utility relocations. As you know, it's challenging getting all the utilities. There's 15 different utility companies on the telephone poles alone, let alone the underground utilities. So it's just a huge coordination effort. And since we're public, it's a public project, the utility companies don't get paid to relocate their facilities. It's not a private development project, it's a public project. So they're a little bit slower, not getting paid. So we were hoping that the utility relocations were going to be done in May. They are not yet all done, but being worked on. The community center audio visual upgrades. We're waiting for our projectors and speakers to come in. Once we know that shipment date, we can establish a better timeline for installation, but that is scheduled to be completed this calendar year. Office Park pedestrian lamps, that project is now complete. Horsham Road, Limekill Pike intersection improvement project. We're nearing the end of right-of-way acquisition, getting very close to having, as you know, it affects 41 different property owners, and we're down to about 2 or 3. So we're nearing the end of the right-of-way acquisition phase. Then we had to wait for PennDOT for their right-of-way plan approval, and hopefully go to bid early next year, and also enter the demolition phase in January or February of next year. The Route 611 corridor improvement plan, we just had our second stakeholder meeting this past Tuesday, which was well attended for being in the month of July. So we were happy about that, but it was a very good meeting. And that plan is still scheduled to be completed by the end of 2025. New park signs that are all complete now were added in at Kohler Park Soccer Fields, Lukens Park, Everybody's Playground, and Chestnut Creek Park, Hawks Football Fields. Basin retrofit project for Forrester Road and Whetstone Drive basins. That council has awarded that contract, and that's scheduled to have substantial completion by the end of October. And the later the better, because of the dry weather. We're not going to get anything to grow. So the later the better. Blair Mill Road Shopping Center, the new traffic signal, that's now complete and operational. Eastern Road, Blair and Moreland Avenue realignment and traffic signal project, that is scheduled to be completed by the end of 2024, but we're hopeful that it'll be done by early September. We're really pushing the contractor to have it done before school starts, and Hollowell Elementary School's right down the street. So that project's moving along. Drescher Road, New Road, Sawmill Lane traffic signal, that is to be completed by the end of 2024. Our comprehensive plan, that'll pick up again after these vacation months, and that is to be completed this calendar year also. Maple Park improvements, some of them have started. What we're doing this year is addressing some of the fallen and dead trees. We have removed the old swing set. A new swing set is ordered, and as soon as that comes in, we'll install that. We're replacing some of the telephone pole ballards that exist with better aesthetically looking ballards, and adding some benches and trees where needed out around the playground. Blair Mill Road widening Phase 3 engineering, that will be all done by the end of 2024. And in 2025, we will enter the right-of-way acquisition phase of that project. Horsham Road Bridge engineering, this is the bridge out in front of Kohler Park. That engineering is to be completed by the end of 2025. And what takes longer in that engineering is the permitting because of the creek. the DEP, the Soil Conservation, the Army Corps of Engineers, FEMA, all of those agencies are involved with that project and reviewing permits for that project. So that takes it longer, the engineering for that. We're trying to coordinate that project with the intersection project, so they're both done around the same time, so we don't get done the intersection project and everyone's happy that Horsham Road's open and travelable, and then we shut it down again for the bridge replacement. So we're trying to coordinate the two projects the best we can. Also, I know it's been a question in the past, Horsham Road will not be closed for that bridge replacement, so it'll have lane restrictions, but Horsham Road will remain open during that bridge replacement project. The last and 18th item is Davis Grove Road Bridge and Culvert. As we know, that went into a failure category, and we did our emergency repairs on it. We're probably looking at the summer of 2025 due to utility relocation issues with PECO Electric and PECO Gas. So we're waiting, we're kind of hung up and delayed because of PECO. So, but those are our projects and those are the updates.
For Davis Grove, oh, sorry, did you? For Davis Grove Road, you said that they completed the emergency repairs. So is the complete by summer 2025, like, is that a replacement or?
Replacement, full replacement. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
That's quite the list. I think I can speak on behalf of council and the community in saying thank you for all the work that you, the staff, and all of the firms that we work with on keeping our township moving forward. So thanks for that update and all the work you guys do. With that, just a few updates before we adjourn. National Night Out is Tuesday, August 6th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Horsham Township Municipal Complex, 1025 Horsham Road. The Carpenter Cross Bike Race is Saturday, September 21st, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at Deep Meadow Park. And the next Horsham Township Council meeting will be on Monday, July 22nd at 7 p.m. With that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you for coming out tonight. See you next time.